Hi everyone, today we're here with Lorelei Garnes, author of God's Investment. Welcome Lorelei, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for this opportunity.
What was the trigger point that made you want to write this book, and when did that happen?
I have been wanting to write this book for over the last 10 years. The funny thing is every time that I would start to sit down and write the book, I would either lose train of thought. I've lost the pages that I have written. Computer hard drives have crashed. Many times I attempted to sit down and write the book, even using apps on my phone when they came out about 7 or 8 years ago. So the real trigger point was right after I graduated from the 4-year university. And I realized at that moment that I could empower other women and actually mentor other people in the same way that I had been mentored. So that was really the trigger point, and that's what the reason I wanted to write the book. And so it just never came to be. And over the last year, it was really on my mind. I had purchased a domain for the website. I had started writing down some thoughts and had lost the same documentation. So I just sat down and started writing and was determined to have this book go live online. And within about 3 weeks, the book has been written and edited and published. It's going live on Amazon within the next 72 hours. And it's really been a lot of different things that was pushing me to write this book.
That's an amazing story. Was there anything surprising along the way in the process of writing the book?
There were actually several surprises. One thing that really caught me off guard was the emotions involved in writing the book. I had to actually put myself in those situations again in my mindset and really think about what occurred, what the truth was, and really get those facts out, because it's my perception and it's my belief and it's my experience, and others don't agree with that. So that was the second surprise, when I allowed a few family members and friends to read the book in advance and get some feedback. And I was rather taken back by some of the reactions, especially from my mother. She didn't necessarily agree with the way things were in the book, but when I reminded her of those situations, it would bring back memories for her as well. So I was rather surprised to see the different perceptions that people have with their experiences. For example, in the book, I tell a story about a little boy that was killed in front of us as children. A drunk driver had struck him on the sidewalk, and I was there at the time of impact. I didn't actually see the impact. I was turned around and headed back to the house, and the accident occurred, and I could hear the accident. And when I turned around, I remember seeing the mangled bicycle and the little boy's sock on the sidewalk. And that was my memory. But when my family read that part of the book, that was not their memory. My mother actually claimed that I wasn't there at the scene of the accident. So there was a lot of disagreement in parts of the book, and I almost regretted sharing the book ahead of time because it was a discouragement. It set me back. I pulled down the Facebook book cover unveiling page. I was not going to print this book. But through a lot of prayer and encouragement from my children and my husband, it was time. It's time for Lorelei to have a voice, and therefore the book will be printed. And it is my perception. It's how I experienced these things in my life. It's how I viewed them. And I went through all of the chapters of the book, every word, to make sure that it is factual to the way I experienced it. So, of course, when the book goes live, people start reading it. People who recognize sections of the book that are about them, they may or may not agree with me, and that's okay, because this is my experience, and again, this is my voice, and that's what this book is about. This book is about giving women a voice, and I want women who have been through domestic violence, any type of emotional abuse, sexual abuse, or any type of physical abuse, or even childhood pains that we all deal with. This book is really driven for a woman reader, because I walked through many things and I saw many things by the age of 11, and those things shouldn't have occurred, but they did, and it's okay that they occurred. I have forgiven everyone that I speak about in my book. I don't hold any grudges, and you know, again, that's a lot of what has driven me to get this book published.
It sounds like a really intense journey. So I think you covered this a little bit already, but who are your readers, and is there anything else you want them to know about the book?
My readers are for people who feel stuck and trapped, and they're constantly making excuses for their life because they were born into a certain situation. They were born into poverty, or they were born into an abusive family, or maybe they just had hard times in life and they just give up and they feel like there's not a solution to their problem. The book is really geared toward women. I have a heart for women, and I have walked through many different battles. I've been through the domestic violence. I have escaped that. I was able to get up and pull myself together and get strength from within and walk and move forward. And that's a message that I really want to send out to women who are stuck in these situations. I have been through sexual abuse, and you learn that it wasn't your fault, and that you are a beautiful child of God. These things happen. We know they happen. They happen within families. It happens every single day. And we have to empower people to speak up and tell the truth, and to be a part of the solution and not the problem, and to stop covering up the lies, to talk about them. This book is for women who don't feel beautiful, who don't feel loved or cherished, or they don't have a path in life. Maybe they just want to change their life. So this book, I'm hoping, will be an inspiration to others, that if I can make a change and a difference in the world, and I can live a happy, successful life, and I can look at myself and say, yes, I am beautiful, I am intelligent, and I am loved, then they can do the same.
That's such an inspirational message. Lorelei's book will be available on Amazon very soon, and there will be links in the article. And if you want to find out more, you can go to her website, godsinvestment.com. Thank you so much for being with us today, Lorelei, and we wish you a lot of success with your book.
Thank you for this opportunity.